Hi guys, I am gonna make a video about some books that I read in July. I know it's already August 12th, but I thought I read more like single books in July than I actually did, but that's fine. We're gonna roll with it. Welcome to my channel. I do vlogs, I'm gonna do book videos, just very lifestyle, not lifestyle, more just like, you know, videos about my life and things that I like. Anyway, so all the books that I read that I have physically are actually upstairs and Xander's trying to take a nap, so I will not have those to hold up. I'm gonna try to figure out how to put them on the screen. If not, I will definitely link them below so that you can find them. But the first book that I read, and I actually got a physical copy of the two books in one binding at 2nd and Charles, and I got it for like, I kid you not, like $5, okay? It was a steal. It was The Wicked Deep and Winterwood, both by Shay Earnshaw, I believe is how I've heard it said. And so I read both of those, but they were in like one book, and wow. Okay, so first let me tell you what The Wicked Deep is about. So I have notes over here, so if you see me like glancing, that's what it is. But essentially, it's about these three women who were drowned for doing witchcraft in this sea, you know, in this like town, this beach town. And now every year basically the town is like cursed. They come back, they take over the bodies. That's my tablet that you keep seeing. They take the bodies of girls in town and they kill boys like every year. And it's about this girl named Penny who lives in this town, and she has this friendship that she creates, and now she's got to decide if this out-of-town boy is more important than like saving herself. So it's honestly, I loved it. Like, it was so, I don't know how to explain it. It was kind of cozy, but I don't think it was meant to be cozy. I think it was like, it just was. I mean, you're like in this beach town. It's kind of spooky, but it's also kind of cozy, but there's murder. I think it was really good. I think I would recommend it 100%. I think I gave it, actually, let me check my Goodreads and see what I gave it. So I do rate books on Goodreads. I am not a harsh critic. Let me just tell you before I tell you what I rated all these books. I'm not a harsh critic. If I want to pick your book up and I want to finish it and it keeps me intrigued throughout the entire thing, I will give it 5 stars. If it's like intriguing and it's good and I'd recommend it, but there are like slow parts that kind of lose me, I'll give it 4 stars. If it's like, I read it, it's okay, I'd recommend it to somebody, but I didn't like love it. I didn't want to wake up and like pick up the book every day, it's 3 stars, and then below that it just wasn't good. So for Winterwood and The Wicked Deep, the combined book, I gave it 5 stars because honestly it was just, I don't even know. I read the entire book in like a week. Yeah, I'd say in like a week. I think it was like 600 something pages. It was 2 books, right, in one. So yeah, I gave it 5 stars. I really liked it. Again, that is The Wicked Deep. So Winterwood was also in that. I also gave it 5 stars. Let me tell you what that's about. It's about a magical haunted dark forest, and our main character, Nora, is part of a family, my notes are down here now, is part of a family who, like, on the right night of the month, they can actually go into this forest safely-ish and, like, get things that they need or whatever, and they're like finders. They find items that have been lost in the woods and then they collect them. It's very interesting. So anyway, she's in the woods one night and she finds a boy, which is like, no one can survive in the woods until now. And it's like, so he's this mystery. His name is Oliver. And so Nora basically is just trying to figure out how the heck Oliver survived in the woods all that time. He's from a local boys camp that he went missing from, like, not that long ago. And so she's just like, how did you even survive in these woods? Like, only my family knows about these woods, can go in these woods and like survive on the correct night. Any other time, like, we wouldn't make it either. So that's the premise. And let me see. Yeah, that's kind of the biggest thing. She found a boy and she doesn't know how he even survived. So that's kind of the mystery. I thought it was great. Can't really say any more without giving anything away, so I'm just gonna move on to the next one. Okay, so the next thing I read that made me feel like I read a lot, which I did, but I can't tell you about all of them, is I read Talon, which, oops, I forgot to write who it was by, so let me grab my phone. I read Talon by Julie, I'm gonna butcher this, Kagawa? Something of that nature. Anyway, I read Talon, and it's a 5-book series, so I read all of those in July, which is why it felt like I read more than I did. Again, I did give this 5 stars. It was a great book. I didn't give all of the books in the series of 5 stars, just the first one and like a couple of the other ones, because some of them were slow and some of them were kind of like, okay, I know we need to know this, but I'm struggling to get through it, if that makes sense. So, Talon is about this girl, Ember Hill, who is actually not a girl. She's a dragon. And she has to prove that she can blend in with humans while also training for her destined position within Talon, which is the organization that she is a part of as a dragon. And so she's going to have a typical normal summer as a teenager, a human teenager, and this is like her escape before she has like really hard training. Then she meets a rogue, which is a dragon that is not part of the Talon organization, and she learns a lot of things, and she kind of has to pick between like Talon and this rogue and like what life she's gonna pursue. And so while all of that is happening, there's another POV, which is Garrett. He is part of the organization that hunts dragons, St. George. And so he's actually destined to hunt her down. And so they merge in this town that they're in, and the rest is history. It is crazy. And now he also learns things about his organization that he's like, maybe they're wrong. So yeah, there is a lot happening there. It starts with like 2 POVs, so it's like Ember and Garrett, and then as the books go on, you get more POVs from other characters, which I actually really enjoyed. I will say, I hate when I go into a book, example, 6 of Crows. You start reading it and you're immediately thrown into like 6 different perspectives, and I don't like that. I don't know these characters. I love that in this book series we started with 2, we got to know those 2 characters, and then we got another POV, and then it just kind of grew from there, and I appreciated that because I was able to track what I was reading better and be more intrigued by the chapters that way, because originally it was like I didn't like 6 of Crows because I felt like I could never really learn a character, because by the time I was getting into it, there would be new character POV, new character POV, and my brain doesn't like that. So like the story itself was good for that, but anyway, we're talking about Talon. So anyway, Talon did that really well. Julie did that very well, and I think that this series was just written so well in that aspect, and it was just, I loved it. It was a great series. So yeah, that was 5 books that I read, Talon series. And lastly, the book that I read that again I felt like I read more was Beach Read. I read Beach Read finally by Emily Henry, and I will say I went on a Emily Henry tangent after that book. It was so good. Okay, so this book is about Augustus and January. Augustus writes literary fiction, kills everybody at the end of his books. January writes romance. Everybody lives happily ever after. The only thing they have in common is they end up in their beach houses that are right next to each other. The only thing they have in common is that they're gonna be there for 3 months over the summer, and they strike up a deal, you know, they're talking, they strike up a deal. Hey, we write each other's genre, basically. Like, January is gonna write a story where people die, and he's gonna write a happy ending. And so they make this deal. There are some stakes involved, and I mean, obviously, to me, this is like a rom-com, so I was enjoying it. I was laughing at the banter. I was on edge for all of the, like, distress and, like, tension between them. It was so good, and I don't like a lot of spice, and I am grateful for Emily Henry because her writing does not have a ton of spice. It's still an adult book, but it does not have nearly the spice that some other adult romance books have. So I was grateful for the minimal spice and high stakes, and just, I enjoyed the setting. I read it during summer. It's like 110 degrees in Texas right now, so fit right in with the heat and the sweltering heat and the sweat and the yuck. Like, that is the vibe. So if you're trying to finish out summer with some good reads, I would definitely say, like, beach read. That's such a summer vibe. So yeah, that's all I read. It wasn't, I mean, it was a lot because the Talon series was 5 books, but I can't tell you anything about those other ones because obviously they're part of series. So I say read the first one, see where you feel like it, and maybe you'll devour it like I did. I could not believe I read like 8 books in the month of July. That's probably one of my highest amounts of books. I normally only read like 1 book a week because I have an 11-month-old. And I live with my parents, and they like TV, and there's so many things. But my husband's been home, so it's been nice. So I've been able to read more. But yeah, that's what I read in July. I guess August will be an interesting wrap up because I've read quite a bit so far in August. And I didn't realize that I had read so much already. I'm attempting to read, my current read is The Summer I Turned Pretty, and I'm not loving it. I know that it's like, it was a hyped up book on like Book Talk. I know there's like a series out, but I guess maybe I don't like it because I don't relate. I'm not vibing with it, and I don't think it's for everybody, and that's okay. Not every book is for everybody. That's all I had. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.